Mike is the consummate gentleman. He is kind, he is thoughtful, he's humble, he is willing to roll up his sleeves and help, and he's got just the right sparkle and twinkle in his eye when something good is happening, but he always keeps that sense of decorum and demeanor.
As a lawyer, details are important. Mike has always impressed me as being focused on the details, whether it's the intricacies of someone who needs help with their lives, the minutes of a meeting on one of the many boards he serves on, in one case, the Memorandum of Understanding of the One Ohio Foundation. Mike pays attention to the details.
Mike has a high level of integrity, and I think that I've noticed right away, and I tried to hold myself, particularly in a leadership position at the firm. I wanted to run the firm, make it successful, but to do so with integrity. And Mike is a walking example of how a lawyer can have high integrity in service to clients.
Many people join boards and advance good causes. If you look at the pattern in Mike's life, he joins boards that affect people's lives, that improves people's lives, the people who have actual real needs for improvement. Those are the type of organizations that Mike belongs to. Recovery Resources, Drug Court Advisory Board, Center for Community Solutions Board. Mike joins organizations, gives his time to boards that directly better people's lives who need that help.
Mike was a long-serving member of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation's Board of Trustees and took on a variety of different leadership roles. So Mike's role as chair was to try to figure out how to generate new enthusiasm and energy around the purpose of the Fellows Society. And he came every meeting, every conversation with new ideas, with a sense of optimism, and best of all, with one of the largest Rolodex I've ever known. Of course, most people these days have no idea what a Rolodex is, but let me assure you, Mike's got one of the best in the city. It was amazing to me time and time again how broad Mike's reach was, how many friends he had, and more importantly, how many friends, when he would reach out and say he needed help at an event or would somebody buy tickets, they always said yes. Mike was so good that one of my recommendations was that for the year that he served as leader, that we adopt our tagline, "Be like Mike."
Mike's just reminded me of, the Ignatius mantra, being a man for others. And he reminds me of the importance of the work that we can do and how important the details are. So, that's the life of Riley.
Mike, for a number of years, led the professional development committee at our law firm, and that is a committee that's responsible for training our young lawyers, their particular skills, as well as professionalism and ethics and business development. Mike may have been the first partner we put in charge of it, and he set an example for that role that others have followed. And as a result, under Mike, it was a very effective committee, and it continues to be a very effective committee, in large measure because of the example he set and the standard he set.
So shortly after joining our Drug Court Advisory Board, Mike went ahead and reached out to his old organization, Recovery Resources, the Project 180 Drug Court Alumni Group. With them, they serve as an agent now, and we've been able to raise money under their umbrella. He solved a big problem for us, and they create community for people in recovery. So, Mike's just not a guy who joins a board and occasionally shows up and has his name on the roster. Mike's a doer. Mike's a foot soldier.
The reality is that behind the suit, behind the eyes, is a passionate, engaged, and excited guy who, when he commits to something, is all in. So I learned, never judge a book by its proverbial suit, and in this case, there is nobody I'd rather have standing by my side than the passionate heart of Mike Riley.
To be able to be directly involved in something like Recovery Resources, Community Solutions, or even the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation, I find very fulfilling. I think it lines up with some of those themes I learned early on in my family, frankly, and that Ignatius picked up, that the idea that it's really only when you get over yourself, give of yourself, that you become more fulfilled. If I happen to know that I'm dealing with an attorney who went to Ignatius, what that really means to me is I know that that individual is probably after the right result here. You're not going to get a break by the way, because you went to Ignatius. This person's going to do their job probably very well to be in that kind of a family, to be associated with Ignatius at that level. It's been a blessing to all of us.